Welcome back to Fujitsu Forum TV. You join me amidst a hive of activity. There's a live presentation going on behind us. It's one of the only elements you won't see live on Fujitsu Forum TV. Over the course of 2 days, we will have brought you 27 live interviews, 3 keynotes, including the keynote at 12 p.m. today with Dr. Joseph Rieger. The theme of this year's Fujitsu Forum is co-creation for success. Next, we're looking at tangible business solutions. Business leaders know they need to innovate, but they want tangibility. The next segment aligns perfectly to both tangibility and co-creation, as we're joined by one of our special partners, Suze. Joining us is Brent Schroeder, CTO. Brent, you're one of the many people who has flown from one of the 80 countries around the globe. You're coming from Austin, Texas. Thank you for making the effort. You had a breakout session yesterday where you were discussing innovation and the trends. Just to help us understand a bit about your session and the trends that are driving innovation right now.
Absolutely. Our discussion yesterday was really about AI and how that could apply to IT and IT operations. I think the broader question there is AI and its applicability. And what I'm really thinking about is, what are the enablers to AI and what's unique about this time period that we're in today. And as I think about it, it's really the convergence for the first time of the 3 key ingredients for AI to really be applied and put to business use. And that's the data, the compute power, and the surrounding technologies that go around machine learning as the heart. And what I mean by that is the devices that feed the data to create enough data, and the devices that are able to consume and use the data, whether it's a mobile device, whether it's a robot, whether it's an autonomous vehicle. So we've got this great convergence happening, and it really makes for an exciting time in technology.
AI's been a much-hyped technology for a long, long time now, but there are real success stories out there. It does make a difference, but I know it's not easy for organizations to embed AI. What are the challenges, the blockers that organizations typically come up against?
Well, I think the biggest things from a blocker or challenge that I've seen first come to the data. Are you able to collect the data that you need to create the full solution? An incomplete data set really inhibits or creates problems in ultimately getting there. And then second, defining the problem. It really needs to get to a well-defined problem, and if you're trying to solve too broad of an issue to begin with, then that leads to some of the challenges.
What about benefits? How will AI benefit organizations? CEOs, they're all impatient people, they want fast returns. Can AI give us that?
Absolutely. I think if you get the right key ingredients pulled together, then the benefits can come fairly quickly. And there's examples across numerous industries and across all business functions. So it's not about the applicability, does it apply to me? It's, do you have the right ingredients to execute that? So first, starting with a focused business problem. And second, making sure that you've got the key ingredients to do that. And if you've got those, then the business can yield those returns, whether it's an increase in customer satisfaction, new capabilities delivered to the customer, or an operational efficiency increase like I was talking about in my breakout session for IT operations executives.
Viewers of Fujitsu Forum TV 2 days ago now, Media Day, they'll recall we did an interview with the Agile and DevOps team here at Fujitsu. They were talking about how it can expedite digital transformation. Yep. What do you think are the most important enablers to making Agile and DevOps work within digital transformation?
Yeah, this one goes back quite a ways. I've been involved with several Agile projects and for teams and organizations coming up to speed on Agile. And honestly, I'll start off that the key ingredient to success is organizational buy-in. If the organization isn't bought in and trained and prepared for what Agile is, then it won't succeed. And the same with DevOps, because DevOps is really breaking down some barriers, right, of where I've had traditional developers and the operations people, and those almost being at odds with each other, where it's really got to come together across the organization. Now, once that happens and once you've got that buy-in, now I've seen multiple technologies and multiple processes, methodologies be successfully applied. But the ruling challenge, from a success factor is getting that organizational buy-in.
So people is still critical to the success of an
It's
organization.
amazing, right? As much technology as we can develop and automate and so forth, it all still comes down to the people in carrying it out and executing it.
Let's just hypothesize. Imagine that we're an organization that we've delivered the AI, we've got agile DevOps, software defined, we've cracked it all. What does an organization look like who's achieved all of that?
Yeah. What I see is the big benefit of that, and you're really looking at what's the trifecta. I hit the trifecta on the event. But if I start with software defined, because it's really how do the three come together to be bigger than any of the one, right? So software defined delivers for an organization the ability to be much more agile from an infrastructure standpoint, to be able to scale their infrastructure, to be able to deploy when and where necessary. So that's ingredient number one, and that's what number one looks like, is that flexibility and agility. Now, agile and DevOps, that really now enables the developers to deliver faster to business needs. Right? The real goal with Agile is when I identify a business problem, a business opportunity, how fast can I respond to that? Now, Agile gets me there. Now, if I combine Agile and software-defined infrastructure, now my developers don't have to worry about that infrastructure. They don't have to go around it. They don't have to wait. They don't have to try to find sources outside to get to it. So now I can get the added benefits of not only faster development, but faster deployment time. So I get a multiplying factor there. Now if I take those two and add the third, the trifecta, if you will, of machine learning, now I've got the ability to apply information or apply knowledge that I couldn't have had before. And apply it fast, in business time. So that's really the thing that's happening now when you bring these all together. And I talked about it a little bit in my breakout, is that with today's software-defined infrastructure, with the information that's being gathered in IoT and robotics and in autonomous vehicles, it's so massive that we can't process it in a human time, right? So that's where we're bringing all of these together, like you said, the software-defined infrastructure, the agile from a development standpoint, and now machine learning to be able to take all of this information and make real-time decisions. I've now really become a business that can move much faster than my competition and really get a competitive advantage.
There's a lot of CIOs, COOs, even CEOs watching Fujitsu Forum TV, both live and on catch-up. What's the one key message you would put to those people on how to deliver digital transformation journeys?
Yep. Number one, as we've already touched on, is start with the organization. The organization and the players have to be bought in to it and know what's the overall objective. And then number two is define measurable business objectives that you want to achieve with that. As an old saying goes, if you can't measure it, don't do it. So identify what's measurable and then start with a focused, tangible project. Succeed or fail fast. Either one. It doesn't matter as long as it's happening quickly so you can make some decisions, you can learn from the successes and failures and move on to the next one. I think those are the key elements that go into it from a process standpoint. And then collaborate and innovate with your peer group. And this really comes back to one of the key messages of SUSE and open source is there's a tremendous amount of innovation and collaboration happening in the industry. And companies like SUSE out there and Fujitsu collaborating to help them. So, step up to us and ask us, challenge us, and we'll be there to help.
Brent, it's been an absolute delight having you on Fujitsu Forum TV. Thank you for joining us. Co-creation for success is the theme of Fujitsu Forum 2018. It's a fine example of the points that Brent's just made. There's a real theme coming out of this year's Fujitsu Forum. The business side, the business leaders and technology have to be better aligned. There's the need to answer tangible business problems. You need to innovate in the right areas. But here's the kicker. It all comes back to people. You need amazing people to make the magic happen. There's plenty more to come from Fujitsu Forum 2018. You can follow all the action live on Fujitsu Forum TV. By the close of play today, you would have seen another 10 live interviews and a keynote. 12 o'clock today, Dr. Joseph Rieger takes to the stage, and he's going to be helping people understand how blockchain has finally got beyond the hype and that it should not just be aligned to cryptocurrencies anymore. Plenty more to come from Fujitsu Forum TV. Stay with us.